What's up, YouTube? Welcome to my channel. So it's been 14 days since we did our lawn renovation, and boy, did I tell you, this was a really slow process, and it still is. And after renovation, remember, I'm using the turf type tall fescue. So after we did our renovation, 7 days into the renovation, there was basically nothing happening. Nothing. So I thought that I wasn't watering properly, or I was doing something wrong, because this has never happened to me before, where I'm not seeing any germination at all for turf type tall fescue. And remember, turf type tall fescue takes about 7 to 14 days. Yes, I get it. But sometimes by day five, I'm already seeing germination. So day seven comes around and there's no germination. And I was a little bit concerned, but I stuck with my program, watering 3 times a day. And then once we got into 10, 14 days, everything started coming to life. So let's take a look at the lawn, and let me show you how the lawn is looking right now. All right, guys, it's a little bit weird. Both the front lawn and the back lawn is basically identical, same situation. And what do I mean by that? Now, remember, we're on day 14, and this side of the lawn, you can see that we've had germination, tremendous germination. But if you look at the far end there, now shift to this side, same thing, it's coming along. But as we move left to this side, this whole area has no germination. And there are certain areas that have germination, but the middle part of this lawn has no germination. So if you have a situation like this, do not put more seed down. And I'll tell you why. The reason for that is because, for example, in my situation, I see that I did my renovation. August 31st is when I did my renovation. And we're now September 14th. Yeah, September 13th. Okay, so August 31st, I did my renovation, and my soil temperature was, I think it was about 74, 75 degrees. So it wasn't really the ideal temperature for the lawn. And that's why the first week, I didn't see any progression. I didn't see no germination. Now the soil temperature is about 65, 64 degrees right now as filming this video. And the temperature is coming down, things are getting better. The back here, remember, we used the Elm Street Mountain View seed from Elevated Lawns, and it's coming along very nicely. And what I'm going to continue to do is water the lawn. I'm going to back off a little bit and water it twice a day at this point, because the soil is so saturated right now that I do not want to continue to, water it, and I don't want to create fungus on the lawn. So I'm going to cut off the watering a little bit to twice a day, just so that the turf can dry up a little bit. But we have germination everywhere. I mean, everywhere. Okay, even in this section right here, we have germination, as you can see right there. So it's coming along, and all in all, what I'm trying to say is that patience is the key to success. You have to have patience and stick with the program, all right? You have to stick with the program. Now, this area right here, you can see that the tenacity that was put down is making the turf a little bit purplish, whitish on this side. So it's not fungus. If you see anything like that, that's not fungus. But overall, I love what I'm seeing. We're having progress, and you just have to stick with the program. Do not panic. Your seed will germinate if you stick with the program. So far we're on day 14, and the lawn is just beginning to pop. So I am very pleased with what I'm seeing right now, and there's no need for me to add any extra seed down right now. I'm gonna go ahead and fertilize this lawn today. I'm gonna be using the Earthworks, I think it's the 8-2 fertilizer. I'm not sure. I'll post it up here so you guys can see which one I'll be using and try to give this lawn some, some nutrients so that it can thrive, because this lawn hasn't had any fertilization since I seeded. So this is what we're looking at. Now let's check the front and then we can wrap things up. Hey guys, this is the night shift turf type tall fescue that we throw down here in the front. And as you can see, we got germination, but again, it took 14 days literally for me to see any kind of germination. So it's beginning to fill in now, but this area right here is still trying to fill in, just as in the back, the same situation. So if you have or you're facing this kind of situation, do not put more seed down. This is all based on the soil temperature. You did everything right. There's no need for you to throw seed down. You just have to be patient is the key here when it comes to getting these seeds to grow. So I'm not going to be throwing any seed down around here. I mean, you can see that there's germination already. It's coming, it's popping. I'm just going to continue to water, and I believe things will come in order. Things will work out. All up in here, I'm getting germination. Everything is looking pretty good. Remember, not all grass seeds are going to germinate the same time. You just have to be patient. Look at this area right here. I have patches right there, but then all this area, I'm getting germination. Been watering the same time now, so it's coming in really, really nice. Now on that strip right there, I've been watering it by hand, and sometimes I water it once a day, sometimes 3 times a day. So it's beginning to fill in, but again, this area, I can say it's based off lack of continuously watering it, but it's beginning to fill in right here. So I'm just going to be patient and try to water it at least 3 times, and we should be good on this side. But overall, I like what I'm seeing. All right guys, so that's pretty much what we have here going on, and I'm going to continue to monitor the situation and continue to water, and with the fertilizer that I'm going to be putting down, hopefully that will spike some things up here and get the ball rolling. But we're on track to get this lawn all filled in, and again, just stick with the program. If you have something like this going on, just know that it's all based on your soil temperature. And when we're talking about soil temperature, it doesn't mean that your whole lawn is, say for example, if the soil temperature is 50 degrees, it doesn't mean that your whole lawn is 50 degrees. There's certain areas that aren't 50 degrees, and of course the seed is gonna slow to germinate in those areas. And also, not all grass seeds grow the same. Some grass seed takes time than others. So that's also one thing you have to keep in the back of your mind when you're growing grass seed. Okay, not all grass seed are gonna germinate the same time. So you just stick with the program, and trust me, you will see a result. You have to be patient. Do not rush through it and start throwing more seed down thinking that, your renovation, you did something wrong, or you miss a step or two here or there, and that, it's a fail. No, it's not. These seeds are quality grass seeds, and so you want to wait till the whole lawn has germinated, and then you can see where you need to, put a little bit more seed. You can, once the whole lawn is established. But if it's in this process still, and yes, we all know that turf type 12 fescue takes 7 to 14 days, but that's in a general term. When we're talking about the soil temperature is right, in an ideal situation, that's what it's saying on the bag, that it will take 7 to 14 days in an ideal situation. And my situation is not ideal. So the 7 to 14 days is not realistic, just because my soil temperature is off. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, and we'll come back and check. Maybe I'll give it a little bit more time, like in 2 weeks, give it extra 2 weeks, maybe more. Once the soil temperature start coming down, things will are going to fall in place, and then we can come back and revisit the situation. Anyways, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.